Thank you for having me.
Now you and your family have got an amazing business in the mall and one at Laguna called Pages.
Yeah.
Great place for hot chips.
Yeah.
Really, really good coffee and great, yeah, it's good. So it's a business, but how do you see the business of Pages? What is it to you?
Yeah, it is a business, but I can't think how long. We've been there 11 or 12 years, and we were in business before that. I was in the corporate world. I was a banker, and I love my job, and my parents sold their business, and we knew that we were called to something, and so seeking them out, to cut a long story short, we were absolutely convinced that God was calling us into the Brisbane Street Mall. It wasn't the business that we wanted to buy, but it was the business where God wanted us to be. And for us, we know that for God we are salt and light in the middle of the city, and He sends people to us. Yeah, it's good. Do I sound nervous? I'm nervous. It's awful up here.
It's okay. So you are salt and light in there?
Yeah, we are. I'll say that, yeah.
Yeah, you have people come in regularly.
We do.
Who need your help. You've had lots of people who've come and chatted with you. I know you had some people, even with the Brave Hearts thing, that you had people come in and go, yeah, I'll support this because, and they've just opened their hearts up over some hot chips and a coffee.
It happens all the time. And for me, like what I was doing before, I love my job, and I knew that I had to lay all that down and serve. And looking back now, like over the years in seeking God out, my spiritual gifts are hospitality and evangelism. And if God kept me in the bank, the environment was way too professional. So He had to get me out of that, and that was an act of obedience. Yeah.
So is there any stories that you could share with us about?
Yeah, there's lots of stuff. Because the environment's really casual, I invest in people, and you can do that in a cafe, but it has to be a choice because it's busy. And so what happens is, if you can build relationships with people and get to know them, it will open the door to conversation. Yeah, and it's amazing what people will entrust to you and tell you. And so what we do there is, the dynamics are different in the business because my brother's there alongside me, and he has his main role for God. We're primarily there for God, and business is second to us, very, very strong. And we're also committed to staying there. We've made that commitment to God until He calls the pin, we stay. He has a very, very amazing gift of prophecy, and so God sends people to Mark, and then He'll send people to me. Yeah, and for me, I invest more time in people, and I'm very open about my Christianity. Yeah, very open about it. I want everyone to know, but it's done in a really, really casual manner, and it has to be done by being the person that God made you to be, because that's going to complement your call. Yeah, and so, like one example, someone that comes in regularly for coffee, he'll ask me questions. I always get people asking me for questions. Always get people asking me for questions. And so I can hand out literature where I feel that I can't sort of progress any further. I think God's going to use that literature. And then I've had people come in and say, one person, for example, said, well, so Jesus, He presented Himself to 5,000 people after the resurrection. And this is a man that's probably never been to church before. So my angle is to try and get people thinking about God. Because in Australia, it's really hard, I think, to minister to people when we're in this sort of culture of excess.
So, like in the book Walk Across the Room, it's Bill Hybels'
Yeah,
book.
perfect.
So that's what you're doing. You're taking people from a 10 to an 8 or a 7 to a 6.
Yeah.
You're doing the journey and letting them ask their questions in a really safe, comfortable environment.
Yeah, very.
To be really available. Now, it's come at a cost, hasn't it? Like you said, you gave up a job that you really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And there's other areas of life where you work long hours.
Yeah.
I mean, over the last few years, you said you've been able to reduce that a little bit because you've got some people alongside.
Yeah, it hasn't always been that way.
Yeah, has the cost ever... What keeps you there? What is it? You've got this big cost and you could just walk away. What holds you there?
Yeah. one day I have to stand before God and He's going to say, what did you do with your gift? So that really drives me. Yeah, and it's just a big thing for me because it has been a huge cost. And I can walk away from it. I can easily walk away from it. My family, they're amazing. But I choose to stay. Yeah, and another thing is, I could easily, I've learned over the years that God doesn't care about your comfort. I've really learned that. He really doesn't care about your comfort. He cares about the big picture and what He's calling you to do. And, we reshuffled everything with the books and stuff like that. And I could have easily, I had that discussion. I could have easily said, and Johnny's just built me this amazing home office. And I could have easily said, I'm going to do the books at home and, I'll get to be home and I'll get to, because I'm never home. And, I said to Mark, God needs me on the floor. I have to be around people. And so I choose to be there. We choose to be there. Yeah.
And I think God's going to say to you, well done.
Hope so.
Now, the other thing that's just come up recently is that you have been asked to join the finance board here at Sharon.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So what do you think you can bring to that job? Why would you consider, not job, but that position?
Yeah. Well, it's an honour to be nominated. And, I certainly have a history in finance. I love finance. From a little girl, all I wanted to do was work in a bank. It was so easy for me. I knew what I wanted to do. I'm wired that way. I did work experience in the bank and I ended up being their loans manager. And I love what I did and I thrived under that sort of pressure and I was good at my job. And I still think that way, even though I'm more in a serving role now, that's me. And I have lots of different strategies and thoughts, and I think that everybody has different talents that they can bring to the board, and collectively, we could complement each other. I certainly know my way around a balance sheet and, commitment levels and realistic goals, and I like to set goals, and that's how I used to grow business in the bank. Setting targets and reaching the targets and getting there bit by bit. I just do my best, and my heart is in this church, and I was called to be in this church, and a lot of it for me is just I love the vision of the church, and kind of like the shop, we have a vision, we have work to be done, and God has called, God's called us here at this church for a cause, and He's called us in the shop for a cause, and we keep to our post. And just know that by faith, God will just pull you through. Yeah, so I'd like to be part of that. Yeah, the nuts and bolts of it would be nice to serve. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your heart on that.
Yeah.
Can I just say that you are a real blessing to this city? That you are a blessing to this city, and we just want to honour you.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Thank you.